Hello, Keith Keller, Melbourne, Australia. And we have a very special show today. We're actually multi-streaming to Substack, to LinkedIn, and to YouTube. And to celebrate that, we're actually going to talk about what that actually means and how do you do it and whether it's worth doing. So if you're on Substack, you can contact me there. If you're listening on YouTube, you can actually make comments there. If you are watching on LinkedIn, you can make comments there. And multi-streaming is exactly what we say it is. We're streaming on multiple places at one time. And that just makes a lot of sense. So we're just having a bit of fun. It's working on LinkedIn already. I've checked that. 2 people have liked the post so far. I'll just check over time whether it's working on the other platforms. And please, if you do feel like making some comments, please do. You can just have any comments or questions in the chat feature there on whatever site you're listening in on. If you do want to come in, let me know. I can have up to 8 people on stage at one time, and we can have a little bit of a Brady Bunch moment. We are indeed multi-streaming to YouTube and LinkedIn, and in the middle there, we will eventually get a graphic for Substack. It's a brand new one. We're just playing around with it. Not everyone has this feature yet, but we work through it, and we're telling you how to do it, what it means. And while I wait for a few of my buddies to come up on stage and talk about how they're doing it, I'll play a bit of mood music, and we'll get you in the zone. Today we're going to talk about what is multi-streaming and why does it matter. So to set the tone, I'm going to play a song. It is a song, I guess, that we created on Suno. I created the words with perplexity.ai, and the music, or this version of the music, was created on Substack. Suno. It's about Substack. So we believe that Substack is going mainstream. So this is a little bit of mood music to get you in the zone while you contemplate what this means and whether or not you're using Substack or LinkedIn and YouTube. Let me know what you're doing, and we'll talk to you on the other side.
Substack is going mainstream, from a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. New from a familiar name. It started as a whisper, a spark in the feed. Creators found their voice and created light speed. We are scaling up without selling out. Gentle souls finding an audience without having to shout. It's still very early in these golden days. The crowd's not too loud, and the tech will amaze. Substack is going mainstream, from a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. The challenge is the balance, to stay true and free. Hold that creator soul in the storming sea. 2025, the year we decide how far the wave goes, how wide the tide. Can we scale the mountain without losing the art? Every platform's heartbeat starts in the heart. Substack is going mainstream, from a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name.
Okay, so this is the 10 a.m. edition of what I better give a name one day. I'll better give this a name one day, but I do it so many times I just turn up. So this is the 10 a.m. edition of the show, and today we're talking a lot about multi-streaming and the idea of streaming in multiple places, in multiple time zones, in multiple countries, and eventually maybe in multiple planets. Who knows? Maybe people can listen to this on Mars one day. But the thing that I'm really, really interested in today is what time do you want me to do these shows? This show is now at 10 a.m. Melbourne time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time the day before. That might not suit everyone. Maybe it's a bit early. Maybe it's a bit late. So I also might do the show at 12 p.m. lunchtime for me, but 8 p.m. Eastern time, which might suit people better. And also, it's lunchtime in Australia, or in the eastern states, Melbourne and Sydney, basically. And it's 6 p.m., no, 8 p.m. in Eastern time, but it's also 5 p.m. in LA and Vancouver. So that might suit people better. 2 p.m. in New Zealand and 5 p.m., I think, in Hawaii. Well, maybe it's 3 p.m. So there's no point in me talking to myself. So if no one's here, I'll just play a few songs and then I'll do the 12 o'clock edition. But I do need to find out from people what they prefer. And that can get a bit embarrassing if I'm just talking to myself. But that's okay, because it's daylight saving changes things around a bit, and you have to move with the times. So what I'll do is I'll play a different song, because I've been suspended from LinkedIn a few times now, and that's because I'm just probably pushing too hard. So I've created a song called LinkedIn Feels Like Homework. And I think this really sums up the whole process.
LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test, smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. I wake up, pour my coffee slow, scroll through posts that say just go for growth. Everyone's climbing, shining, aligning, and I'm here still refining my bio line. I try to sound inspired, but it's tough. Who knew self-branding could be this rough? LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test, smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Congrats on your new romance. Type that loud with my own two hands. I'm happy for you, I swear it's true. Just wish I knew what I'm supposed to do. The feed says hustle, the feed says rest. No one agrees, but I'm still stressed. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network.
But if no one comes,
every post feels like a test, smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Maybe I'll rewrite my soul's resume. Ads still figuring it out on the work experience today. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Yeah. LinkedIn feels like homework. LinkedIn sure feels like homework.
LinkedIn sure feels like homework. That is so true. But I decided that I would be a bit playful with this, and I've sort of played around with the words that were originally created with AI. I'm not that clever. So this is what we came up with. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best. Turning life into a network, every post feels like a test. Smiling in the headlines and dreaming in the burbs, I feel like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Now, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you don't agree. And if you are indeed interested in this process, we have another show on Friday where my mate Americo in Toronto is talking about the brand new algorithm. Just to make things very, very clear, the new algorithm of LinkedIn is called 360 Brew, or is it Brew 360? And there's a new way to approach LinkedIn. We're going to talk all about it. And it just proves my point that LinkedIn feels like homework. And with that in mind, you might find that my shows don't appear here anymore. But I have been banned twice in 2 weeks. So I'm sort of trying to work out why that has happened. No one here yet. So what I'll do, what I'll do is I'll let this show run for maybe half an hour. And if no one comes, then it's clear that the 10 o'clock time slot is not what suits people. And I'll just come back at 12 o'clock. But before that, I'll play a few of the songs just to get you a bit in the zone and give you something to listen to if you want to listen to the replay. So my gut feeling is that Substack is what we call early majority. It's reached a new phase of its development. 50 million users, and it's starting to bubble. It's starting to bubble up. People are starting to hear about it. People are starting to talk about it. And it's got that sort of zing about it. So with that in mind, I thought of a concept called "It's not LinkedIn, but I'm all in." Right. So this one basically says this could be the new LinkedIn. We don't know yet, but it's early days. 50 million users. LinkedIn has 1.2 billion users, so it's a long way behind. But it's also 25 years old, so we got plenty of time. This one, I think, really sums up what we're talking about today.
It's now the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Building my world with a newsletter grin. No viral spin, just truth within. Owning my list, like I'm born to win. Used to chase the algorithms game, scrolling through the noise just to stake my name. Endorsements, buzzwords, suit and tie claim, but I was losing touch, it all felt the same. Then I found a space where the words run deep, where the inbox opens and the real ones speak. No likes, no cloud, just a loyal crowd. Now I'm writing loud and I'm feeling proud. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Building my world with a newsletter grin. No viral spin, just truth within. Owning my list like I'm born to win. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Long form love, let the stories begin. No clickbait sin, just soul and skin. Substacks, where the real ones live in. They said bring your playbook, play the part, but I'm not here to network, I'm here for art. No humble brags or corporate flair, just me and my just for show, no chasing trends, just letting go. Discovery's fine, but loyalty's gold. I'm not for sale, I'm here to hold. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in, writing my truth from deep within. No filters thin, no polished grin, just real talk, let the trust begin. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in, a rebel feed with a writer's spin. No algorithm can box me in. Substacks where the real ones live. Yeah, real ones live.
It's not LinkedIn, but I'm all in. Okay, so what we're doing today is preparing for a big series of shows next week. Starting on next week, we've got this brand new show called Repurpose 3030. I'll tell you about that in a minute. It's going to be a fantastic idea. That really, we're talking about this exact thing today. Why send your stuff to one place when you can send it to three? Right? Now, you obviously got to manage three. It's 3 times harder, but it's not 3 times harder. It's about 1.5 times harder. It's not as easy as just doing one thing. It's not just one thing, but it's not 3 times harder. So next week, we're going to have this really cool show called Repurpose 3030, and that's going to be unbelievable. We're going to talk a bit about that today. We're also going to talk about a brand new show that Americo, my mate in Toronto, is doing about the brand new algorithm. I'm not an algorithm. I'm a human being. You know, it's not LinkedIn, but I'm all in. So my mate Americo is going to talk about the brand new algorithm if LinkedIn's your thing, right? If it isn't, that's okay, because you can get to this show via YouTube and or Substack. And eventually we'll just roll them all out. And this is what we're talking about. And it's very, very important that we do indeed have this conversation, because in the last 2 weeks, based probably on this algorithm, which may have been an error, I was suspended twice in 2 weeks, actually twice in 10 days. And I'm guessing it's the algorithm just playing up, because I'm just one person in Melbourne, Australia, doing a show on the internet. I'm not a robot. But of course, LinkedIn doesn't know that, and the algorithm might be a bit glitchy. But we're going to talk all about that on Friday, Thursday in the US for you, if you're listening in the US and Canada and Mexico and Costa Rica and all over the world. While I wait for a couple of mates to come up, I'll just give you the invitation again to make some comments if indeed listening on one of these 3 channels. And we are actually broadcasting to 3 places at one time. So my mate Americo has arrived from Toronto, all the way from over the pond. Mate, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever everyone finds themselves.
It's very interesting. The daylight saving thing really is very interesting to me, because my body rhythm really resonates with 10 a.m. You know, I get up at 6 a.m. and by 10 a.m. I'm ready to go. If I wait till 12 o'clock, I feel like I'm sort of punching the walls. Right? But 12 p.m. is now 8 p.m. in the eastern states, which suits a lot of people. So that's the first thing. I'd be really interested to know what rhythm you do in your shows. Have you found a rhythm, and does daylight saving stuff that up a bit?
I couldn't say that it stuffs it up. We'll find out in the coming weeks. 7 p.m. seems to be the sweet spot for myself, because we catch an abundance of time zones where people are either not being interrupted by something. So you catch people in their morning routines, you'll catch people in their lunchtime routines, and people just winding down the day. So 7 o'clock seems to work well. I also I believe from time to time between 3 and 4 p.m. in the afternoon, I'll I'll do a few lives, but they don't do as well because they're smack dab in the middle of someone's day. And if you catch someone on lunch, they'll probably tune in for a couple of minutes, but scurry on to something else that they're probably looking at getting done.
It's
an errand.
fascinating. You know what? That is so fascinating. Hello, Jill. Jill is in the Niagara area. Like you can throw a stone and hit her house. Please don't do that. But Jill has arrived. She's a lovely friend of mine who does these wonderful reviews of retreat centers. Right? So, and that's going to fit in perfectly with your road trip. But let me just finish that thought, and then I'll see if I can bring Jill in. The idea of doing these polls is very fascinating to me because in a way, it's a bit of a waste of time because people say, "Oh, mate, I want to come at lunchtime." I said, "Well, I'll do a show at lunchtime, but I've done many shows at lunchtime. You never come. Why don't you come?" "Oh, I was busy on that particular lunchtime." Well, okay. I mean, I'm trying to make a time that suits you, and you said lunchtime. I did a show at your lunchtime, and you didn't come, and I made a lot of effort for that because I normally do my shows at 10 a.m. and that suits me better. I changed my whole day for you, and you didn't come. Oh, I'm sorry, something came up.
Well, here's an idea, and I know you have differing opinions on the whole on-demand and replay experience. Your preference is to engage and immerse yourself with a live audience and engage in real time. But maybe it becomes an email strategy, so you make the best of what you have when you're live with the people who participate during the live. And then for those who consume on an on-demand basis, hey, here's what you missed. Here's a link. Go listen in.
Well, I'm really quite fascinated by this. I've sent you the link, Jill. If you do want to come live, we can have up to 8 people on stage. If you want to meet Americo and you want him to come down to Niagara, over to Niagara to interview you about your cool things. But one of the things I very much like about Substack, I really like this feature, is that they now have this thing called the subscription model. Right now, this show is fundamentally free, but my heating bill is $10 a day, and my internet bill's $100 a month, and my phone bill's $50 a month, and I got to put petrol in my car. So while I'm sitting here in this chair, I'm not pulling coffees or pumping petrol or making pizzas, which possibly could pay for these little fun things that I'm doing. So subscription models sort of said, look, if you're really enjoying what we're doing, we're going to create a few tiers for you to take part. $10 a month, $50 a year, $50 a month, $100 a year, whatever you want. So with what you've just said, this is I've already started to explore what I might do with a subscription model, because for instance, Restream is $30 a month, right? I don't mind paying that because I love doing it, but that's $30 a month that's coming out of my savings, right? And if I don't, if I'm not clever, I'm just going to run out. Just logically, if there's nothing going in and everything's coming out, eventually I'm going to run out. So it occurred to me that I'm going to start this new thing soon. When I get to 100 subscribers, I've got 58. I'm going to make a $50 a year subscription model. That's it. Flat fee, one fee, $50. No monthly model, no upscale, just $50. $50 a month when I get to 100, just to prove that I can. And for that, there will be replays. Right? And so that will be a reward for people that support the show, that if they can't come live, they can watch the replay. The show will always be free when it's live, if you can make it live. And that's the enticement, because I'm an extreme extrovert. I feed off live energy. I feed off it. So if people don't come live, I'm just talking to myself, and it's very, very difficult to do. It's extremely difficult to do. I'm getting good at it, but bloody hard.
Talking to the rooster. We haven't heard that rooster in quite some time.
No, we haven't. We haven't heard that rooster for a long time. Talking to the rooster. But so I love I love live shows, and I love the energy of having live people talking to me and making comments. And I realize that people are busy, and I realize that it probably suits them to just listen to a replay, but it doesn't suit me. So I've got to have a balance. So what I've decided is that if you do want the replay, no worries. When I get to 100, probably in January this year or next year, I'm going to turn on the monetization model, and I'm going to make it $50 a year. And I'm already setting up a playlist on YouTube, which is private. And I've already got one there now. All of my shows will go there for private use by members, right? Just as an enticement to say, well, look, can you at least help me put petrol in the car? Because, my savings are running down. I just realized that the other day that, geez, I've been doing this such a long time. I just keep forgetting to ask. So one day I'm just going to run out. So $50 a year will just keep the lights on. And for that, you get a replay of the show. I'm also going to be setting up a private chat feature. And why that's very important, like this is an extremely important point. When things are free, everyone comes, right? Even if they're not interested. Oh, there's nothing on TV. I might as well just go to Keith's show. There's nothing on TV. It's free. It's not going to cost me anything. And there's nothing else to do. So I might as well just go and hang out with him and bother him. Right? But when you have intention, hey, you know what? I love Keith's shows. They're every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. I go. I love them. And we have such a great time. That's a totally different mindset when you go intentionally. And sometimes just monetizing the process gets rid of what we call the tire kickers. Do you have a theory about this? Do you have a theory about this, America? How do you get rid of tire kickers?
How do I get rid of tire kickers? Man, if I had a solution for that, I'd probably be selling it and monetizing. Because, as a business owner, you got to be open, and you can't put your guard up. And from time to time, that means people are going to reach out and expect something for nothing. And it's really about how do you let them down gently. I had someone last week who reached out to me and said, I love this live streaming concept. How can I be part of this? How can I get on a stage and have visibility similar to what you're demonstrating? It's like, well, it's pretty easy. We can start by, a complimentary show. You can share the stage with me just so that you get the vibe, and then we can build out a strategy that will suit your needs and your objectives for business growth or whatever the objective might be. Well, it sounds like this is going to cost me something. It's like, well, yeah, it kind of is. We're running a business here. I'd love to demonstrate, I'd love to support where I can. And philanthropy only gets me so far because it's part of my marketing strategy, right? I create these shows as part of my marketing funnel. Hey, come be part of it. Immerse yourself in it so that you can feel the energy and you can see what it's like to engage with others in real time. And then imagine and picture a strategy that is tailored to your brand, where you, whether through social selling, through storytelling, or live selling, whatever the strategy is, we can tailor something. Well, not sure that I want to pay for that. It's like, well, then all the best to you. When you're ready, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions.
Yeah, a very, very, very good friend of mine has this amazing strategy. What he does is he gives away everything you need to know to do it, because he knows you're not going to do it. He knows. He just knows from experience. Like if I couldn't do this, but if I did a very, very comprehensive 8-part series on how to pull apart a motor and put it back together, some people might go, man, that was pretty good. I'm doing that. I'm going to have a go. Most people would say, look, I trust that you can do it. I'm not doing it. But if I need to know how to do it, I'm just coming to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he actually has this very clever strategy. He gives everything away because he knows this is a really, really, really tremendous marketing funnel. because people go, mate, you talk about this with such passion. You just live and breathe this. And to be honest, I don't want to pull apart a motor. It's this. He talks mostly about SEO, but in this case, I'll talk about motors because that's just so obviously not what I would do. So, you pulled apart this motor on your lawn and you've made it look so easy. And I can tell you for sure that I don't want to do that. So, but if I need someone who can do it, I'm going to come to you. Right. And of course, that's not going to be free because I can see how hard it is. I mean, I couldn't do that. So one strategy could be, and this is why I do these shows, I'm just saying, just telling you as it is. But by all means, have a go. Get Restream for $30 a month. Buy a nice mic. Get a Zoom P4. Get a lovely laptop. Do it yourself. It's not that hard. It's not hard. But you know what? I know you don't want to. And so if you don't want to, just come on my show. So I have a mic. Cost me $100. I have a PC. I love it. I use a PC, but you could use a laptop. I have a Zoom P4. It cost me $200. I love it. You can hear what I sound like by using this stuff. I'm happy to just tell you everything you need to do because I know most people just won't. I bought this one, the Zoom P2. It's a funky little gadget that works with USB mics. And, you don't probably even know what that means, but that's okay because I do. Right. And I talk about it as if it's because I live and breathe it. I do 2 or 3 shows a week and I talk about this stuff in my sleep. And I can tell you that because my wife tells me, oh, mate, you had another one of those dreams last night. What are you talking about? You have another one of those dreams last night. You're just talking all the time. She's working from home this week and she goes, you talk to yourself a lot. You walk around the house talking to yourself. I do because I'm pretending to be on the radio all the time because I just love doing it. So eventually we will find people that love what we do and they'll get it. And until then, we just have to sort of wing it. And so with that in mind, I'm doing these shows for free on Substack, YouTube, and LinkedIn, right? And they are free. And what I've decided is if you want the replay, because most people do, you have to be a member, $50 a year.
Yeah, fair enough. And my secondary offer, if we want to call it that, because you touched on something that I want to jump on. It's not that complicated. And I try to tell people, stop overthinking going live. Yes, on the surface, it looks easy. And when people roll up their sleeves, like, wow, Keith made it look so easy. I can't do this. And that's what I want to do is help those who are on the cusp of going live and realizing it's like, all right, Mariko and Keith were correct. We shouldn't overthink this. Now, I don't have that budget to payroll someone to run this for an entire year. But if I can just use their resources and join a community that meets with like-minded professionals and talk about best practices, what's happening in individual industries and what everyone else is trying, and bring in guest speakers to help those who want to do it themselves be able to do it with success. That I believe there is a market for at a reasonable price point.
Yeah, this is what we call the mastermind group. Now, I was mentioning before about the concept of memberships. These shows will always be free where if you can be bothered turning up live. That I will promise you that. I'm never going to charge for shows. But not everyone can come live and they want the replay. So that to me is a product that I can, sort of massage. But this is the most important part. When people pay an amount, $50 maybe, they are committing to it. And when they commit, their mind changes. When someone says, oh, well, it's free and I've got to take the dog for a walk, or guess what, my favorite show's on TV, or you know what, I got to mow the lawn, or I just can't be bothered tonight. I just, you know what, I just don't want to. So, when it's free, there's nothing. There's no sort of commitment. There's no sticking power. So by having just this small fee, $50 a year, say, $10 or $5 a month, say. Nothing, really nothing. $1 a week. You're saying, look, I want to learn this. And I realize this person's putting in their time, which I think is valuable. And so I'm going to spend $50 a year learning this. Now, what happens when a group of people say, look, we are all together on this. How's your show going? Oh, not bad. What do you need? Well, I wouldn't mind more people coming. All right, I'll come next week. Actually, I really, really, really want some help in trying to find a new mixer. I think the Zoom P4 is all right, but it's a bit expensive. Anyone got any ideas about how I can sort of save a bit of money? Well, I found this secondhand one. And, on what is it called? Reddit? What's that really funky site you found?
Carrot.
Reddit, Carrot. Yeah, it's not close, not far away. So you found this really cool site called Carrot. Now, that's something that you could share with the community. Go, man, you just saved me $50. Chances are, this is a very true story. Chances are the $50 fee you pay to join a membership site will easily be solved and saved by the fact that other people in the group know things that you don't know. Like you say, I think the price on the Roadcaster was they're $1,000 normal. You got one for you can get one for about $288.
There's one on there for just under $300.
Now that's a saving of $700 on a product that if you didn't know about, you could buy the brand new one for $1,000, and it's very, very similar. Of course, it's brand new. It comes in a box. It's got a warranty. Those things are worth paying for. But $700. I mean, $700. Right? So I love membership sites. I love communities because we know that we don't know everything. And there's a subtle joy in sharing what we know. And there's a strong sense of joy in learning something that we don't know from someone else. And when you develop friendships this way, you develop sort of momentum. So I think you're onto something. And whenever I say, how is it going? You're saying it's going. because oh, look, I don't know what it is, but people want everything for free, don't they? They just want everything for free.
And truth be told, good things take time, right? And yesterday, I made reference to a quote or comment that I engaged with on Gary Vee's latest post, or one of his latest posts. You either take time to do things right, or you make time or put time aside to do things over.
Yeah.
So I'm not rushing into this. Sure, I can turn on a registration wall and get people to register and see what happens. We're doing that already. We're building brands. Our brands are being built in public, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. But right now, I'm just entertaining and enjoying the conversations that I'm having. Making a few dollars here and a few dollars there, nothing worth writing home about. But it's progress, and it's important to celebrate progression.
Yeah.
So when you ask me how are things going, and I say they're going, that's progress. And you know what? Are people disappointed that things don't happen quicker? Yeah, many times we do get down on ourselves. Like, why am I not making what everyone else seems to be making? I'm seeing all these posts and all these videos, and everyone's making it look easy, but no one tells you that overnight success took years in the making.
No one tells you that, and no one tells you about the big ones. Like when I can tell you so many stories, but I don't tell you because I never say it's easy. I never say this is easy and I'm just doing this for fun. And I do it in my sleep. I've been doing it since 2006, right? So it's not instant. I've been doing this since 2006. So of course I'm going to get good. I'm just going to get good. I'm not that clever. I'm just diligent. I've been doing it 3 or 4 times a week since 2006. So just imagine how many hours I put in. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally appreciate that. totally appreciate that. But what I want listeners to kind of gravitate to is understand that there will always be someone better than you, different than you, and there will always be someone aspiring to be more like you. So don't get all consumed about being perfect or being like those further ahead. They're further ahead for a reason, because they've been at it for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
You can bring value to a community with what you know today.
I love this. I love this because, you know, I think we can all relate. I actually want to share this really cool story because I feel like this is where I'm at now myself. This very, very cool person who is quite well known in television now came to my house when I was 16. And he said, "Oh, mate, you got your application for the local radio station," and we said yes. And guess what? I'm gonna take you up there today, and we're gonna do a show. I said, "I've never done a show." He says, "I know that, but we got a spare studio. We got a studio that's not live, and we'll record a show. We'll do it live. It was reel to reel, true story, reel to reel." So he says, "Just grab 10 of your favorite records, and just we'll only take an hour. I'll just run you up there. We'll push all the buttons and we'll record this show and we'll put it on live next week. And then if you like it, well, then we'll keep you on at that time, 4:00 on a Wednesday. Straight after school. Just go straight from school to the radio station and do this show." It was so cool. Like, so cool. And this guy made me feel so comfortable. He says, "Look, of course you don't know what this is. You've never seen this before. You don't know what a reel-to-reel machine is. You don't know what that button does. You don't know how to push these buttons. Of course you don't know that. So I'm just going to tell you how everything works, and we'll do a recording. And when you're ready, we can re-record it. And then when you're ready, we'll use that as the demo. March 1982, 16th of March, I think it is, 16th of March, 1982. It's going to go live, and you can tell all your friends at school if you want to. Maybe you don't want to. And so, because it was terrible, really terrible and very embarrassing, but I got to start. And so I did this show on a Wednesday at 4 p.m. on March 1982. This young kid with hair with color, in that sort of 70s brown. It was 1982, but it was really the 70s. And what I look back on there is this guy who out of nowhere just turns up at my house. Says, "Mate, I get you. You're into it. I'm going to help you. I've been doing this for like 20 years. You don't know what I know, but I know what I know, and I'm happy to share. We're still mates." And about 10 years ago, he sent me a photo, a Polaroid, because he was doing this for a lot of people, and he took a photo every time, and he took a photo of that kid on that day in that studio. I mean, that's a priceless memory. So I got a lot of value out of someone helping me, and it got me started, and I still talk about this very fondly. So I want to be that guy for other people. That's what I'm inspired by. Now, I do have some bills. That's why I keep harping on about monthly memberships, but I don't have a lot of bills. I just, I need to keep the lights on. But I'm not sort of avaricious. Not doing it for money, but I do need money. So I'm just doing this because I love doing it. And why I love Substack is that it's a very soft way to do this. If you love what we're doing, come to the free shows. If you want the replay, become a member, $50 a year. And then you'll get access to the replays and access to all these cool extra goodies. And I think for me, the concept of members is far and above the idea of just the $50. It's the idea of commitment to the process. Yeah, that's what I want. I want commitment to the process. I want people to say, I love this, Keith, and I want to come and I want to support you and I want to help each other. I want to help everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important to have that level of commitment. Now, here's a question for you. Let's split this membership conversation, because there are those who want and are aspiring to build this membership community, but for them, in order for it to be worth it, it's got to be high ticket. Where I believe, and keep me honest here, I believe you're more of a high volume, low price point, because that's just who you are and how you give back. You want to give back with abundance to the biggest community size possible, while still being able to monetize.
Yeah. Before I answer that, because you are right, tell me what you mean by high ticket. I've never understood the high ticket offer. I've never understood it. I'm really interested because I love the Spotify model. I love this Netflix model. You know, for $10 a month, I can watch unlimited TV 24/7 with no ads. Well, it was $10 when it first started. You know, for $10 a month, I can listen to unlimited songs on Spotify with no ads. I get it. And 1 billion people agree with me. Right? So that model for Spotify makes them $10 billion a month. 1 billion people. I think it's something like 1 billion people now pay $10 to Spotify to use their $10 service. Now, I'm going to AC/DC, for instance. I'm going to AC/DC on Sunday in the MCG. There's going to be 100,000 people there. On Sunday, we just listen to all these AC/DC songs, like all day. Right? We're getting ready. Oh, they're playing this one. They're going to play. Remember this one? Oh, I love that song. Oh, that's my favorite song. And then you're dancing around thinking, I can't wait. I'm going to AC/DC on Sunday for real, live, but let's juice up. Now, I love the Spotify Netflix model. $10 a month, and there's 8 billion people in the world. Right? And they're not all going to get my stuff. 50 million of them use Substack. That's so I've got 50 million potential clients at $10 a month or whatever it is. But tell me the flip side. What I don't understand the high ticket offer model. I don't understand it because it's not the way my brain works.
So high ticket for some, it's all prestige and ego, but essentially what you're doing is making the same amount of money with less effort and less support or operating costs. So if you bring 100 people in at a lower price, your likelihood of having to support 100 people are quite high. But if you bring someone at $1,000 for a mastermind or a masterclass, 3 or 4 sessions, short spurts, then you're going to get people who are more invested in themselves because they've front loaded this with a higher investment, and B, you might get someone who's got fewer questions, because someone who is novice may not be prepared to spend $1,000 and walk away still not knowing where they stand.
I do understand this. I know, we know this for sure, and please comment on this in the chat. People that pay well complain less. This is a truth. Like, this is a fundamental truth. People that pay nothing complain the most. This is true. People that pay nothing complain the most. And people that pay the most complain the least. Because, if you're going to buy a Mercedes or a Porsche, you already know what you're expecting. Of course, you want it to go. But, I'm guessing, I don't know, I don't have a Porsche, but, if you have a Porsche, you know what you're getting. You have an expectation, and the level of service is supreme. Right? But I have noticed that people who pay the least complain the most. Is that a universal principle, or did I just?
It is a universal principle. We used to operate when I was in my corporate roles. There was always this analogy that leaders, including myself, would make, because it was so true. 80% of, like, we were in the contact center business for banks and insurance companies. 80% of your call volume came from 20% of your customer base. So 20% of your customers would consume your entire operating costs. They're paying the least, yet they're the first to scream the loudest, where those who are just paying their bills and going on about their business, they don't care as much, or they'll just shrug it off and it's the cost of doing business.
Yeah. So, things do happen, and you have a right to complain if you are paying. But there seems to be this disproportionate perception that you have an entitlement to complain for paying $10 a month. It's $10 a month. What do you get for $10 a month? I mean, it's maybe one coffee in Australia. Maybe two coffees. Like, it's not even a coffee every day. It's a coffee once a week. What do you get for $10? Now, fair enough, it's $10. It's $10 of your money. I get it. But I know people that, we have a perception of quality. And in a way, I think I understand now why you would want to position yourself as the high ticket offer. Okay, this is not for everyone. Not everyone is going to be able to afford this. But if you do commit to this, you will get value. Whereas the $10 model is, well, you look, if you don't like it, just quit. It's $10. What have you lost? It's a bit throwaway. I get why people I have heard that people refuse to do the $10 model because it makes them feel weak.
Yeah,
it deflates their ego.
Some people believe that it cheapens their expertise. But hey, if we were to draw a parallel, and the biggest, most relevant comparison that I make is the fast food industry. Call it what you want, the McDonald's, those franchise type of food establishments, and they pump out high volumes at low ticket prices and make billions of dollars. Where a fine dining restaurant has a higher ticket and a completely different experience. And guess what? They're probably making less money than those who are in the fast food business, in those chains and franchise type of distribution.
This is actually a really interesting point. If you could get out of the way of your own ego, if we could do this, I would personally prefer to have 100 people pay me $50 than to have one person pay me $5,000. I would prefer that, because maybe I don't think I'm worth for $5,000. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I am. I don't think I am. So maybe I don't believe I'm worth $5,000. And I've sometimes had people come to me and say, "Hey, Keith, I love what you're doing. I just love what you're doing, and I want to build a website for you, and I think I can put you on the stage and we'll get you on the TV." This has actually happened to me. And I just so into this. And I said, "Oh, that's good. What do you want to do? A bit of a sort of a tag teaming, a bit of a sort of a collab?" No. I charge $50,000. And for $50,000, I'll build your website and put you on the TV. Wow. Okay. There's the offer, just straight out. Like, she got from zero to hero in like 8 minutes. No bullshit. I love you, but this is how much it's going to cost you. And I said, well, what I love about you is that you're so confident in your ability to tell me that I'm going to have to mortgage my house to build a website. I can't see it. I can't see it myself. I mean, I'm just not sure I want to mortgage my house to build a website so that I can go on the TV. I'm sure that I could. I trust you, but I'm just not sure I want that life. Wow. I mean, lots of people do it, Keith. I got hundreds of clients. I'm so wealthy. I got like 8 cars and 15 houses, and I've got a cruise. I got my own cruise ship. I said, well, you probably do, but I'm not sure I want that. And so she was very confident that's what she wanted, and that was her model of the world. I'm a bit more earthy than that. I just want to go to the cafe and have a latte and sit with my mates and have a pizza. You know, I'm a sort of a salt of the earth type of dude. I'm just a guy. I'm not deriding myself for that. I'm just not a sort of a shiny, glitzy person.
Yeah,
And I don't need to tell you anything about what I'm doing. I mean, my value is not based on the car that I drive and how much my shoes cost. But some people do value that, and they have a disproportionate sense of value, and I'm not sure I'm willing to pay $50,000 to get a website done. I closed it down like within the like we were, you know, from 0 to done within 10 minutes because I thought, look, it's just too much. I can just tell you now, just no. And she was shocked because she saw the vision. But I really want to pick up on this, and please make some comments about this. The Netflix model, what Amazon calls the long tail, small price point, big numbers. $10 a month, 1 billion users. I love this model. I just resonate with this model because I'm a man of the people, right? But then it could be $1 billion, one client. Look, I don't want a Maserati. I don't want a Porsche. I don't want an 8-story house in the suburbs overlooking the water with private servants. I don't want that life. I don't resonate with that model. So I don't have a high desire for, you know, for income. You know, so maybe, I don't know. I'm really fascinated by this. Have you been playing around with both? Where do you sit on this?
No, I tell everyone that I meet with that I have zero interest in getting rich quick off of one person or one business. I gravitate to a high volume, low price point. And for me, it's about value. And similar to your values, I just want to be able to do this from anywhere and help someone, right? Because the technology is there where I can get in the car or get on a plane and be resting at a beach resort and jump on a call and do a recording and not have to worry about getting on the train, going into the city, putting on a suit. You know, you reach a certain time or point in your life where you realize that those shiny objects and that Western lifestyle where everyone is trying to keep up with one another, the rat race, as some of us refer to it, it is mentally draining. It is exhausting. And it gets us no further ahead. We are all destined, you know, don't want to get all sentimental, but we're all destined for the same destination.
Yeah. It's very important. I know people that are very glitzy, and I just don't resonate with them. This is one of the things I've been saying, and this is a very good segue into the show on Friday. I personally do not resonate with selfies in the bathroom on your iPhone. I just do not want to hang out on Instagram and be taking a photo of myself every 10 minutes. I don't really care what you're doing. I don't. If you're having a good time, that's great. If you're having a good night out, that's brilliant. But I don't need to know what you're wearing and how nice your iPhone is and how big the mirror is in the bathroom you are with your girlfriends. I just don't resonate with that life. And so this is becoming quite troublesome on LinkedIn for me. But maybe not, because you are talking about, and it's a good segue. You and I are going to chat on Friday about, was it Brew 360 or is it 360 Brew?
360 Brew. So
360 Brew, the new algorithm, the new change. What is it? What do you think it is?
Well, I'll be the first to stand up and say I'm not an expert in algorithms, but I am intrigued and been doing some research, and we're seeing many other creators talk about the new algorithm and how this AI model is replacing the old algorithm, which some are saying it's more dynamic now. You now have one algorithm that is listening and reading like a human, 150 or billion interactions, and making sure that what you're saying resonates with who you say you are, and placing your message, if it resonates with your identity and it brings value and it brings expertise, it's then placing you in front of the right people, which has me all excited because I get down on myself when a poll that asks, hey, what's your favorite pizza topping? And it gets just crazy reaction, engagement, impressions. And here I am trying to do some real life research in how people like to experience live streaming. What is it that they'd like to hear more of or see less of? And if I crack 100 votes, I consider myself lucky.
Yeah,
So
votes is a good result. But
yeah,
are you saying that the new algorithm will probably stop those pizza topping engagement hacks?
it will. So if I'm reading between the lines, it'll stop those pizza topping polls if it is recognizing, hey, this is someone who's just trying to artificially inflate and drive impressions and engagement. The engagement that is being driven or the question that is being asked does not align with the persona who's asking the question. So unless you're a franchise owner or a restaurateur selling pizza and you're curious as to what the community enjoys on their pizza, you're probably going to see less visibility, because you're talking nonsense, and what you're talking does not align with the persona that you've created for yourself on the platform.
I love what you've said there, because I my initial thought today was, oh no, I love polls, and I did this poll today because you've just gone to daylight saving to or from fall back. You fall back.
Yeah, we fell back.
So the timing's changed, and I did this poll. I've had 14 votes today. Which time would suit you best for my live sessions? Now, this, picking up on what you've just said, is directly related to what I do. I'm doing shows. When would you like me to do them? Like, I'm not asking you what your favorite color is and what your favorite TV show is and what your favorite t-shirt is. I'm asking you a question related to my content. So hopefully that's the sort of thing this new algorithm might pick up and say, well, that's a reasonable idea. I'll throw that out for Keith. Is that what you're sort of saying? And
that is what I'm gathering. And I'll use today's post as an example. I had a fantastic conversation, and we spotlighted Michael LeBlanc last week on the storytelling journey. So one of the shows that I host, we had fantastic conversation. Today, I repurposed and pushed out some content from that event, but I led with cybersecurity, which is Michael's area of expertise. I did not lead with live streaming, did not lead with storytelling. So because I led with Michael's area of expertise, which is not what I'm being recognized for, I noticed that it did not push it out to as large of an audience, and there's very little engagement. So I now have to retrain and relearn how to craft and write my content, my hook, so that it speaks to my audience and it resonates my expertise. Even though we're spotlighting Mike, I have to be able to reword it. So we're all familiar with SEO, and now there's this new acronym, which I know you love acronyms. GEO, generative engine optimization.
Oh, wow. Tell me about that. That sounds interesting.
So I don't know enough about it, but I'm just starting to hear more marketers talk about generative engine optimization. So it is now taking AI language models as part of your search. So right, you can now do search. When you do a search, you're going to either get picked up in an SEO or you're going to get picked up through a GEO search.
Ah,
When you go to Google, what's the first thing we see? We see that AI overview. That is the generative results for that search. It's AI driven. So a lot of change coming here, a lot of change already happening. I'm not going to claim to be an expert in it, but I am very intrigued by how fast and how rapid things are moving. So curious to see how well it will settle in. I know yesterday you touched on how LinkedIn might have a little bit of dislike for the way you do things, because you do things so rapidly and so effective and so efficiently that you're being picked up and flagged as possibly using automation tools.
Yeah.
So you have to retrain yourself to kind of sit back and just let the algorithm kind of learn who you are and how you interact, and then maybe pick up down the road where you left off.
Yeah, I think this is actually very interesting because I've been suspended twice in 10 days. And the first time was for 1 day and the second time was for 4 days. And I only just got my account back. And I think there's three things, and this is a very important point to discuss about what we're talking about here. There's three things I think that I'm doing wrong. They're very natural for me. And I'm not claiming to be doing anything wrong, but this is what I think LinkedIn thinks I'm doing wrong. One is I love DMs. I just love DMs. I send DMs. That's how I communicate with people. I love DMs. I've got a show. I send a DM. I don't openly communicate in the forums. I don't make comments. I just don't like that format. I love DMs. And when I get excited, and I have what I call the power hour between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. This is actually a very important point in terms of the geo clock, if that's the right word. At 7 a.m. in the morning, it's a good time in Vancouver. It's a good time in Toronto. It's a good time in New York. It's a good time in LA. It's a good time in Paris. It's a good time in London. It's a good time in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, it's New York, New Zealand, and Hawaii. Like everyone's awake at 7 a.m. my time. At some point in their day, most people are awake. So between 7 and 8, I've learnt that I'm just going to zone in. Even if I've just got up, I'm just going to have a cup of coffee and just focus, and I'll have breakfast and do all the other things later. And between 7 and 8, I'll get probably more done in that 1 hour than the whole day because everyone's awake. Everyone's alert. I'm not waiting on anyone to come back to me. But obviously, the downside of that is that LinkedIn thinks, well, geez, you're very active. You can't possibly be a human. Like, you can't possibly be doing this by yourself. I mean, you must be using automation for this, Keith. Yeah, you must be, because how are you doing that? But it's just because I'm very focused. Like, from 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock, I'm extremely focused. I've worked out that's my power hour. I've even coined that phrase. Now,
so here's a question for you. Now, are you copying and pasting the same message in individual DMs? Because that could be triggering. Hey, this is the same message, and it's being flagged as spam.
I think that's ultimately what it is. Now, a very good example is today I'm doing a show. We're live right now. Now, I can't talk to myself unless I want to talk to the rooster. So during the show, when I'm by myself and I'm playing the song, I might send a DM. Hey, I'm live. Come now. You've come to the show before. Maybe you're around. Have a chat. Come on down. Now, if I send 10 of those in 1 minute, people are going to say, "Oh, mate, you must be a robot." Because how are you going to be able to do that? That's one thing I know I'm doing wrong. So in a way, that's a slap over the hands. I'm learning not to do that. Very natural for me to do this. Like, it's extremely natural, because right at this moment, I've got a song playing and there's no one on the other end. And unless I have someone on the other end, I've then got to make it up and play another song. And until someone comes, I've got nothing to say. So I'm incredibly motivated in that very short period of time. So I know I'm doing that wrong. And maybe it's right for LinkedIn to pick that up. And apologies if you're at the bearing the brunt of my DMness, because I do it a lot. The second thing I know I'm doing wrong, which is very natural for me, is that you can actually invite 100 people a week to connect, which I do. Hello, we don't know each other yet, but you seem to have something in common. I'm just saying hello. Why don't we just connect? If you think you see the synergy, you can do that for free 100 times a week. And I do. And I'm doing what I'm allowed to do, and I get into trouble. Maybe I do it too quickly. Maybe I should spread it out over the course of 7 days rather than doing it all in one day. A little bit like the power hour, because I'm very strategic. I do that on Mondays. I send 100 invitations on Monday because my show is on Tuesday and Wednesday, and on Thursday I like to leave the house and go and buy a pizza or go into the city or something. And on Fridays I just tidy up and fill the car with petrol and get the shopping done, and we go to the pub. Right? So on Mondays it's my sort of get ready for the weekday. And maybe I need to do that. I need to spread that out more. I'm aware of this. I wish someone would chart this out. Like, I mean, I've asked them many times, what am I doing wrong? They haven't given me a list. I've just had to make this up. It's obvious. It's probably obvious once you think about it. And the third thing that I don't think I'm doing wrong, because I know this is allowed, is that you can invite 1,000 people a week to your shows. Now, there seems very little point doing shows if you don't tell people that they're on. It seems very little point doing them if no one comes. So once a week on a Sunday usually, but over the course of several days, I send 1,000 invitations in blocks of about 20 based on locations. This is a very important hack. I want to have this discussion. So you can send 1,000 invitations over the course of a week, over the course of the shows that you do. I do 2 shows a week, so technically I could do 500 of each. There's 4 major parameters that you can use. Now, this is completely legitimate. You can send people an invitation based on a location. You live in Toronto, so you could send everyone that you're connected to an invitation to come to your show because they live in your town or your province or your country. Or you might notice that several people, like, for instance, come to my show from Costa Rica. Now, I don't know why that is, but hello, anyone listening from Costa Rica, because a lot of people come to my show from Costa Rica. So I could actually target, I've got about 80 connections in Costa Rica. I could target them and send them an invitation, which is completely legitimate. So the combination of those 3 things in rapid succession probably means that LinkedIn's algorithm thinks that I'm a robot. And I think why this is important is we need to get behind this and work out what it's sort of measuring. And I need to probably slow down. That's probably all.
Yeah.
I
would going to agree with you on most of what you said. LinkedIn allows us to do it, but because you're doing it in a rapid fire format, you're hindering your ability to get recognized or avoid getting flagged by the spam filters and everything else that's running on the back end. So definitely I would pace yourself.
Yeah, it's very challenging because, and I'm very interested in what people think about this, because I typically send out 1,000 invitations throughout the course of the week, and about 100, in this case 150 people have said, yeah, I'll come to that. Yep, definitely coming. Yep, coming. I'll tick. I'm attending. And 152 people of the 1,000 people that I sent invitations to last week said, yeah, I'll come. And then you get to the day and they never do. They never, ever, ever, ever come. And I'm thinking, Well, why don't I just send you a reminder? You said you wanted to come. I'm not bothering you because you told me you wanted to come. I'm just reminding you that it's on. What's wrong with that? But I've got to do it 152 times that day because 152 people have told me they want to come. Right. So it's very challenging because you and I both have experienced variations of this live streaming format. And in December of last year, they killed arguably a very effective strategy of having these really cool shows on your phone. And I had one time 282 people live on the call. Like I've had monster calls. 282 people on a Friday morning on my calls. And you can have 12 of them on stage and 282 of them listening. Well, probably 270. 282 minus 12. So, once you've had that sort of dopamine hit of 282 people listening to what you're saying, when nobody comes, I mean, it's unbearable. It's like sitting on a cliff thinking, there's no one here. I mean, there's no one here. What am I doing? It's coming down from 282 people listening to 0 people listening. Now, everyone feels this. And this happened immediately, didn't it? I mean, did you feel this? How do you get around it? How do you get people to listen to your shows?
So similarly, I will optimize the 1,000 invites. But the one thing that sounds to me that I do differently is I will engage either through the comments in the event that I scheduled, or I will create a separate post promoting the event. Rather than doubling down on DMs. I will send invites to those 1,000 people, but I won't circle back to those same 1,000 people. Hey, don't forget, I'm going to be live in an hour. What I will do is I'll circle back for those who did attend and those who engaged. If we're not connected, I will reach out, thank them for attending, and invite them to connect if they enjoy the content that I put out. Those who resonate with the subject matter, hey, if I invite them to jump on a call. But once that invite goes out, any subsequent engagement or interaction is either through a separate post or through the comments in the event itself.
It's a very interesting point because if LinkedIn doesn't like me sending too many DMs and it clearly isn't working, maybe this is a good question. And this is exactly what we're talking about today. We're talking about what is multi-streaming and why does it matter? I send my files now to YouTube, Substack, and LinkedIn. If no one's coming to LinkedIn, what do we do? Where do we send it? How do we get more people? Now, you've got a very different strategy to me, and this is very interesting. I want to play this out. You do a show that goes for about 1 hour where you interview a guest, and the guest talks for most of that time, and you interact with them. And it doesn't actually matter if no one's listening because it doesn't affect the quality of the show if there's no one listening because the guest is already taking up most of the slack. My show is very different in the sense that I interview people in the audience. So if there's no one in the audience, I have nothing to say because I don't have guests. And the reason I've done that is because, as I said, I've been doing this since 2006. And in a big chunk of time, maybe 10 or 15 weeks in a row, throughout my career, I've just got stiffed by so many guests for so many ridiculous reasons that I thought, you know what, I'm going to try an experiment. I've never seen anyone doing this. I'm going to try an experiment where I don't have guests. Now, that means that every week I'm making this up myself, which is an incredible challenge and sometimes a little bit beyond me. But it means that every show is unique. And it also means there's no time limit. But what you're doing is actually ultimately much more effective. First of all, you've got a guest who can help you promote it. Not that they will, because they often don't. But that's one thing. Second of all, even if no one comes, you still have a show because the guest talks. And tell me what that feels like for people that maybe were thinking of doing this type of show where you have a guest and you ask them questions and then how does that feel?
So great question. So here's the silver lining. When you have no one show up in your format, it becomes debilitating because you got nothing to go off of, nothing to feed off of. Where if I have little engagement, little participation, or no engagement and participation, I can still take those digital assets and repurpose it. Now, it's nothing to suggest that you can't repurpose it yourself. In fact, you do, and you do a great job at it, redistributing your shows to different content formats. But I feel that with that guest, and I have gotten better I went from encouraging guests to promote to requiring guests to promote. There are creators, and I know I'm veering off here a little bit and I'll circle back, but there are creators who charge a nominal fee. Hey, I'm more than happy to have you as a guest. There is a $50 nominal fee that will cover editing, time, effort, and energy for repurposing. But here's what you're going to get for your $50. You're going to get the spotlight for the duration of our show. You're going to interact and engage with people in real time. And then I'm going to repurpose and continue to spotlight you on different platforms, in newsletters, in blogs. So you will get some return for your investment. Now, am I ready or willing to charge someone to be a guest? I don't think that'll fit my model, but it is a model that works if you were to reconsider bringing guests back, because when there's skin in the game, they're more likely to stick around, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm not lamenting that I don't have guests, because I'm very proud. I'm extremely proud that because not everyone can. I'm very proud that I can ad lib. My highest score is 6 hours. Like, I can just keep going. One of the questions I'm really fascinated to ask, and I want to ask this of the group, is you don't have questions from the audience. And I'm really fascinated to know why you don't open it up to Q&A at the end.
So I front load the Q&A. I try to make it as interactive and immersive. So I will kick the show off, and I'll have questions queued up. I will encourage anyone who is listening to ask questions along the way. And many times the questions that I have queued up, I'll shelve, because if I'm getting good engagement, I will feed off of the listeners. What I don't or can't bring myself to be as effective as you are is bringing people on stage. I invite people, hey, if you want to join us, you're welcome to join. Send me a DM expressing your interest. I'll drop the studio link and you can join us. Get very few people joining. This could be the format of our show. The way I host it, it's very conversational, but it's focused and centered on my guest and their area of expertise and the value that they bring. And perhaps people are reluctant. Hey, I don't want to steal anyone's spotlight. I'll ask my questions in the comments and leave the stage for those who are presenting and talking.
That's a great point, because we've often talked about some of the guests who have been very reluctant to take questions. Now, I'm a bit offended by that. Like, I mean, if I've got a question, I'm not content to be a passive listener. That's not my learning style. If I've got a question, I've got a question, and I want to know. And I'm a bit offended when guests won't take questions. I'm actually quite offended. I'm thinking, I've spent an hour of my life listening to you, surely you can answer one question. But some people just do not resonate with questions. And I get it. I'm really fascinated by what this means to others. But for me, and as I said, I've never seen this format done before because it's bloody hard. I got to be honest, I love the challenge. Like I'm right in this moment. Like there's nothing else I'm doing. I'm right here. I'm right in this moment. There's no room for distractions. So this is in a way like a lifestyle for me. I do these shows because I love doing them. And the downside of my style is that I don't really care about the replays. My shows don't really suit a replay listener because we are in the moment. And if you're not here with us, then it sort of feels a little bit boring because you've got to be here to get it. And it's not very educational in the strictest sense because people say, mate, what are you talking about? Well, what am I learning? Well, if you had the courage to put your hand up and ask a question, I would tell you, why don't you come on stage and ask a question? No. I just want to listen passively. Because I'm not a passive person. I'm not a sort of go with the flow, sit on the couch type of person. I got to be into it. Like I'm into it. I'm into life. I'm into it. So I find it sort of quite confronting when I go to a show and then at the end it finishes. I'm thinking, well, hang on, it takes me 90 minutes to wind up. I've just got going. We're 90 minutes in. I know that's horrifying, but I'll come back to this when I've done this poll to say about timing. People, the actual least popular time is 10 a.m. and I'm a bit surprised by that. 10 a.m. is fine, but most people would prefer 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. because it's after work. And this is so fascinating to me, a big chunk of people say that they would go to events at 12 o'clock their time, but it's bullshit. Maybe they just won't come to my events at 12 o'clock their time. They would go to events at 12 o'clock their time if they were of interest to them. But what they're probably saying is your event is not of interest to me because they keep saying, I'll come to your events if they're at lunchtime, and I have them at lunchtime and they never come. So, I mean, what do? You can't possibly base your whole sort of content strategy on what people say they are going to do because they never do it. It's very fickle. It's very fickle, isn't it?
Well, let's compare this to different formats of content. We're offering something perhaps not unique, but unique enough that people notice that what we're doing is different. If you go to different platforms, and even LinkedIn, or people will post videos. They're 30 seconds, they're 60 seconds, they're recorded. Some are produced with high quality. Some are raw creators just jumping on for 30 seconds, but they're recorded clips. People will read posts. People will listen to live events, and people will listen to podcasts. We're offering an immersive real-time experience where you can not only engage in the comments, but we're inviting people to join on stage. And I don't think there's enough people who are ready for it, open to it. But you and I know that it is by far one of the best ways to gain trust, gain visibility.
So good. It is so good because, look, I'm just going to say it. I don't know anything about 360 Brew, but I will learn. And when I learn, I'll get it. And when I get it, I'll teach it. But you've got to go through that point where you don't know in order to become a master. A master has made more mistakes than a beginner has questions. I mean, I'm always making mistakes because I'm trying things. And I really want to pick up on this because we're talking about multi-streaming to LinkedIn, to YouTube, to Substack. They all have a slightly different use case. And hello to the 5 listeners that are listening. Please let us know what you're doing. If you've got any questions at all, you can put those in the comments. So let's pick up on 360 Brew for a couple of reasons. One is we've got a show on Friday about this. I don't know anything about it, so I'm sort of stinging you for it. What do you think the real power of this new algorithm is? And please, if you're in the audience and you know more about it, please come up and talk about this. What is it? What does it do? What do you think what do you hope it might achieve for us in this with the style of content we do?
For creators in the live streaming space, my research has pinpointed that it will match our audience more effectively by analyzing who we are and what we specialize in and how we describe the events that we're hosting, or perhaps the events that we're moderating. So just think about what we talked about moments ago, where we're having difficulty inviting people and getting them to attend. Now, if this algorithm is matching us with a better audience because we've given it enough information through our description, through our own profile, it's going to match us up with like-minded professionals who would enjoy the subject matter that we've described we're going to talk about.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Right?
So it might be that at the moment, the reason I'm getting banned is because I'm sending all of my excited posts to people that are not interested. And if I was just more cleverer, I could actually say, look, to target fewer people, but that are more likely to come. That just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And now I speak of it more favorable than you, and keep me honest, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I lean towards that longer tail. I will host something live and then I will run it through and focus on and encourage people to listen to the replays and the on-demand content. So from a long tail perspective, the old algorithm favored early engagement. You know what? We want people to come in. We want those first 100 comments so that the algorithm gets primed and recognizes, hey, there's activity happening at this event. I'm going to push this out to more people. But it did that previously, not necessarily pushing it out to the right people. It would just push it out to more people. And we never experienced huge spikes of attendees.
Yeah. Okay.
When we hit 100 comments. So I'm, once again, this is speculating based on the research that I've made, that it will more intelligently push it out to more relevant members.
This is actually a really good point. The idea of relevance versus sort of just bulk, like the spray and pray idea. You know, sometimes we've all been. This is a very good example. We've all been to these networking events where a person, usually a guy, not always, but sometimes, gets a brand new box of 1,000 business cards for $50 or $100. Get whatever it is, how much ever they are now, and he gets 1,000 shiny new business cards, and he goes to this event. You can see him lathering up, and you can see he's almost ready for like this marathon. He goes, I can't talk now, but here's my business card. I'll call you. Sorry, can't talk now. Here's my business card. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Sorry about that, but I just want to give you my business card because I'm running the room. Now, none of those people that have got his business card give a shit about what he just said. But if he had taken, this is a very good example, if he had taken the time to say, hey, guess what? I've just got some new business cards, but enough of that. What do? Let's have a chat. Actually, there is some good synergy here. Do you mind if I give you one of these shiny new business cards? They look so good. But that's not the point. What do? We want to have a coffee. Do you see the synergy? What's your dog's name? And you've got kids. And where'd you go for your latest holiday? And suddenly you're more inspired by that guy who happens to have nice shiny business cards, but also is a nice person. So he might have, in this scenario, and this is possibly what I'm doing, he might have said, okay, guess what? I just handed out 1,000 business cards in 90 minutes. Pretty clever. Now, what I would say to him is, can you just tell me tomorrow how many people ring you in the next year? No one is going to ring you because you didn't treat them as a person.
Right.
Whereas if you had said, look, I do have these shiny new business cards and they will last for a while. Here is one, but why don't we, this session's pretty boring. You want to go and get a pizza? Can I buy you a coffee? Or tell me about what you do. And I think that's possibly what this new algorithm's going to sort of do. Okay, we're going to push this content to more relevant people. We see what you do, and your analogy of the cybersecurity was very relevant. Even though your guest, who's very interesting, was on your show, that topic wasn't actually strictly in keeping with the topic you normally talk about. So LinkedIn got a bit confused, didn't they?
That's right. So if I want to be known, so it's being suggested stick to 2 to 4 areas of expertise or subject matters of expertise. So if I'm going to be talking about live streaming as a viable solution and a marketing strategy, I want to be able to talk about live streaming as, through a storytelling perspective, through social selling. And we can talk about live streaming as a customer experience strategy, raising awareness to your products, but it has to resonate with my brand voice. Because if I position my description to my live event and I position it only on my guests, they're talking about their field of expertise. And although I'm giving them the spotlight, I won't get the attention because I've left myself out.
You had that exact thing happen when you talked about ESG, didn't you?
ESG was another great example. Great opportunity. Wanted to spotlight John. And similarly, and who knows, maybe that 360 brew was already in play and people just weren't talking about it. And that's exactly what happened. I had horrendous attendance and engagement because it didn't resonate or wasn't picking up with my brand voice. So I now need to do one of two things. I need to reconsider how I'm writing the hooks so that it speaks to my expertise. And when talking about my guests and spotlighting my guests, I'm going to have to put a little stronger onus of responsibility on my guests to curate their own content to promote the show, or otherwise they're not going to get people to come and listen to them.
I actually love this. This is actually an incredible, and I'm going to really push hard on this for Friday. This is a very, very, very good point for people that have multiple guests. Because how is LinkedIn? I mean, how is the algorithm going to know if you are a host that talks to multiple personalities? Not that has multiple personalities. That would be a very interesting show. But if you talk to multiple people over the course of the show or the course of the season, how is LinkedIn going to know that you're a host? That you really don't have a topic. Your topic is the show, which it could be argued is my topic. My topic is the fact that we talk in general terms to lots of people. But if we understand, and this is something we're probably doing for each other, if we understand what 360 Brew is trying to do, we can somewhat massage that language for it. Because obviously the goal, if everything we do, is we want more people to listen. In my case, I want more people to participate. And both of us want more people to watch the replays and listen to the content afterwards, because there doesn't seem very much point doing these shows if no one watches them. If a tree falls in the forest, right, and nobody sees it, does it really matter? It matters to the tree, but no one sees it, right? So I'm very into this. And I've got a slightly different approach in the sense that I love trying new things. So I'm quite happy to talk to myself for a time, because I'm trying, and I'm very proud of this. I want to just come back to the point. We are talking about multi-streaming. Now, I want to pick up on this for a couple of reasons. One is next week, after a big break in October, I'm starting a new show called Repurpose 3030, and the basic idea is let's spend 30 days examining all of the things that have worked thus far this year, your top 10 pieces of content, and let's really investigate 30 different ways, 30 different ways in 30 days that we can create new content or freshen that content. This is a very powerful idea, because with LinkedIn, and we've all seen this, people are posting shit because they think the algorithm will pick it up and they'll get a dopamine hit when they've said nothing. They've said nothing of any consequence. Like I've seen posts that are, I can't think of anything to post. That's it. That's the post. I have to post something, but I can't think of anything. So I'm just posting something about how I can't think of anything to post. That's the post. Well, that's what is that? That's just a waste of time. Say nothing. Just go away. So we are deliberately pulling apart all of the great things that are working. And I'm very proud of this. I'm extremely proud of this. And we will pull apart how everyone does it, because we're a very big community on this idea. I do 2 shows a week, on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, Monday and a Tuesday in the US and Canada. And those shows go typically for about 4 hours. Now, those shows are great unto themselves, right? But with the 30-30 model, I'm very proud of this. You watch me play this out. The show itself is on restream.io. And it looks great, and there's lots of graphics, and there's funky little things you can do with it. And you can have little effects. And it's like running a little TV studio, right? That is in itself a piece of content. And I do 2 a week. And in the course of 30 days, I'll do 4 weeks times 2. So that's 8 pieces of content right there. There's 8 pieces of content. Then, and I'm very proud of this, I send it to YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack. So I send each show to 3 additional places. The original place plus 3 others. So that's 4 pieces of content for every 1 piece of content that I make. It actually costs me no more, takes me no more effort. So that's how I'm going to do my 30 pieces of content. 2 shows a week times 4 times 4 times 4 places to send it times 4 weeks. But I'm really fascinated, Americo. How do you repurpose your content? We have a slightly different strategy here, because you do honor the replays and you do cut them up. How are you repurposing this? And we'll set this up for next week. Tell us how you do it and how other people can sort of follow your model.
So my destination, similar to yours, multi-stream to Substack, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I will subsequently create a blog and newsletter, one or the other, and distribute that to Substack. It'll be a blog in Substack. It'll be an article on LinkedIn, and it may find its way as a post on YouTube.
Post on YouTube. Tell me about that. Well, how does that work? And do you get
the
result there?
I'm learning through through research that many people underestimate the power that YouTube has from a posting perspective. Many people in fact, the majority of people go to YouTube to consume video content. There's a posting feature you can. So, for instance, we can promote our events through a written post, and there is a post feed.
Oh, wow. Is there?
On YouTube.
Wow. What? So you can do a post on YouTube.
You can do a post on YouTube and, promoting your upcoming event, put your link to your YouTube channel for the live event. And apparently if you do it enough times and if you show up frequently, the YouTube algorithm will reward you in some degree. Now,
what do the posts look like? Are they written? Is it a video? Is it an image?
It's a written post. I will drop in periodically a thumbnail so that people have a visual of what to look for when they circle back to the video. I got to tell you, I need to get better at that because I do have a tendency of forgetting to post on YouTube. But I'm starting to see some LinkedIn personalities who have larger shows showing up on the YouTube feed. So if just by virtue of showing up and posting, the algorithm now is pushing posting activity to me. So it's all muscle memory. I have to get that into my sequence.
Yeah, look, YouTube has 3 billion users. I think it's 3 billion. I mean, if you can get this right, and even if you get 1% or 1% of 1%, that's worth doing. Are you doing shorts? Because I know you love video.
Yes. So let's continue that. So I will push out shorts that are recommended by Substack. I will recreate shorts of my own. My goal for 2026, I did consistently push out 2 shows a week. I would love to see myself find a balance between hosting one week and guest speaking another week, so that there's that variation and that variety, and just part of my visibility strategy. Whenever I'm a guest, I can now remix. I will take clips from the YouTube channel, take clips from that feed, and create shorts of my own. So it is slightly different in terms of what you do versus what I do, but the intent is the same. We're not putting all our eggs in one basket. We're distributing across multiple platforms and across multiple formats.
And I think this is the point. Like, the actual essence is 30 pieces of content in 30 days. Now, we do that differently, but why I think it's fascinating is if we share that with what we do, some of the things that we do will be doable for others that might not have thought of it. So, for instance, people might not be aware that you can send your video files to Substack now. People might not know that. And if they don't, that's okay. Now they do. So why I love this format is that we are a community. I don't know everything. I hadn't even, to be honest, I hadn't even heard of this thing called the 360 brew. And that reason I hadn't heard of it is because I was suspended. I couldn't do anything. But I was probably the victim of the exact thing that they were doing. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing.
So I will give you an example here. I will drop in the DM in our private chat a YouTube post, just so that you can get a feel for what I did. Did it for Mike.
Yeah, this is good. It's a written format.
So it's a written format with a thumbnail.
Wow. I would never have thought of that on my own. I mean, I've never heard of this. So it's okay. Join us today. My guest will be Michael LeBlanc. We'll be opening the show with a song from his collection. And that's a graphic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I can like because I've got a YouTube channel. So anyone who's got a YouTube channel can take part in that discussion, can take part in that format.
That's correct.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. I guess one of the questions a lot of people will be asking is, what are the most effective strategies you've used so far by comparison? What's working the best if you could only pick one?
Well, in terms of quick wins, the shorts are winning more times than not. And that's just simply because we know, as much as we may disagree or dislike it, the reality is people consume
short videos.
Yeah. Right. And we have great conversations, whether it's a 60-minute show that I'm hosting or a 4-hour show that you're hosting. People get drawn to the longer form through the short clips.
Yeah. This is exactly the reason I'm doing this sort of repurposed version, because I love learning from each other. I mean, if it's categorically provable that YouTube Shorts will get more people to my show, then I might be inspired to try them. I would never have thought of this on my own. There's no way in the world I would do a YouTube short of my own volition, because I just don't like videos typically, short videos. It's just not how I process the world. And one of the things, this is a very interesting segue as we're coming up to the 12 o'clock edition. If indeed someone wants to do their lunchtime edition, this will be a very good test. People say they want to come at lunchtime. It's now lunchtime. Where are you? So, one of the things I find fascinating about things that are popular, lunchtime being one example, is that if someone said to me, Keith, if you did shows in 9:16 portrait mode, I would come. I mean, that would be a very, very big effort for me. I'm still not sure I'm up for it. But if someone said that and then didn't come, I'd be really pissed off. Because it's not my natural flow. And I guess really this is the essence of the question we're asking. What happens if the real popular stuff is not in your wheelhouse? Do you learn? Do you flip? Do you turn yourself inside out? Do you adjust? Let's have this discussion from the point of view of 9:16, because I detest 9:16 content. I detest it. I don't mind saying it. I just don't like it. But if it is popular and people will come to my show if I do it, is it worth trying? Have you been trying it? Like Instagram, TikTok, and these sorts of things? Have you tried 9:16?
So the shorts and the reels on Instagram, you're forced to upload in that format. Now, what I recognize is if I take something that's 69 and try to compress it into 9:16, the image looks really, really small. So if you were to check out my YouTube channel, I opt into the shorts being created in 16:9 because I will repurpose them elsewhere. But when they get loaded to you, it looks very small. It still gets a tremendous amount of hits compared to anything else. But I too, if given the choice, the preference, 16:9 is where my heart is. But I have to adapt and adopt what's being consumed. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm sure if we check today, it's still, plus minus 1 or 2%. Half of content's being consumed on mobile devices.
Yeah,
globally, right?
Very, very important, because what I'm really interested when it comes down to stats is, what are we chasing? Are we chasing the dopamine hit of having a lot of likes? Are we chasing the vanity of being popular? Or are we doing what we do? And trusting that the people who need what we have will get it. Like, I mean, some of the most popular songs in the world are unlistenable. I could probably name 20 off the top of my head. You know, the most popular songs in the history of the world are crap, right? And the words are, you know, unintelligible and like preschool lyrics. Boom, 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 come back to my room so we can do it all night and I can make you feel right. You know, I would not release that song. But guess what? I'm singing it 20 years later. I don't know if you remember that song, but it was...
Oh, I remember that song. Was that a one-hit wonder?
Now, I would not have been... I don't know I don't know how much money they made, but the point is that's a song that was very popular. And sometimes I feel content is a bit like that. Now, these people might be very lovely people, and I'm hoping if that you are listening, please come on my show and do a sort of a modern rendition and maybe tell your story of how you wrote that song. But, you know, as a consumer, an 18-year-old kid in a disco, I'm thinking, this is a shit song. Oh, man, this is a shit song. But it was popular, and all the girls loved it. So guess what? I wanted to be with the girls, so I just pretended I liked it. And I think sometimes I feel like that on social media. I pretend to like things because they're popular. I've got to be honest, I don't like 916 content, and I get a bit of shit about that. But if I pretended to like it, maybe more people would listen to my stuff. And I'm really on a bit of a cusp now of talking about what are we doing things that are real, even if they're not super popular? Are we doing things that are popular even if they're not super real? And where do we find that balance? It's a bloody great question, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's listen, we're at a turning point where younger generations, there'll be more of them than there are of us. And if we're targeting, I guess, the next generation who will be decision makers is what, the alpha generation?
Yeah, Generation Alpha, born after 2010, yeah.
They probably won't know what 1969 is because they'll never be exposed to it.
Yeah.
Just like today's millennial, who remembers the 8-track? Who remembers vinyl?
Yeah.
The beta.
The reel to reel.
The reel to reel.
Yeah. I think it's very important because I often talk about trends and I often talk about things that are popular, but sometimes I also feel like I'm kidding myself, that I'm pretending to be groovy because people, you know, I don't have an iPhone and I'm not really on the hunt for a big mirror. But maybe, I've never seen a guy take a selfie. Am I just missing something?
Yeah, you're missing something. You're a lucky man.
Never seen a guy take a selfie.
You're missing nothing.
Yeah. Look, I tell you what we might do. A lot of people have said they want to come to the 8 p.m. edition and the lunchtime edition in Australia. What I might do is I might play a song, give us a bit of a break, go and grab yourself some water, and we'll come back. I'll do just a 3-minute song. I've got hundreds to choose from. But what I might do is I want to play the second version of LinkedIn Feels Like Homework, because what we've been talking about actually feels like hard work. We're pulling this apart. This is strategy. And sometimes it feels like we're sort of making this up, hoping that the mud sticks. And I think this song really sums that up pretty well. So go and grab yourself a glass of water, walk around the room, stretch your legs, and we'll come back in 2 minutes with the 12 o'clock edition, 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'll see you in a few minutes.
LinkedIn feel like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feel like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. I wake up, pour my coffee slow. Scroll through posts that say just go for growth. Everyone's climbing, shining, aligning, and I'm still refining my bio line. I try to sound inspired, but it's tough. Who knew self-branding could be this rough? LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best. Turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Congrats on your new romance. Type that lie with my own two hands. I'm happy for you, I swear it's true. Just wish I knew what I'm supposed to do. The feed says hustle, the feed says rest. No one agrees, but I'm still stressed. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best. Turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Maybe I'll rewrite my soul's resume. And still figuring it out under work experience today. LinkedIn feels like home. Standing to be my best. Turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework.
LinkedIn sure feels like homework. I just so resonate with that, and I want to read out the words. The words are so poignant. I didn't write these words; they were written by Perplexity.ai, just to really pull apart the fact that we're all an algorithm now. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best. I'm turning life into a network, and every post feels like a test. I'm smiling in the headlines and dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Now, I wrote that probably after my first restriction. But what do you think? Is we are indeed at a juncture where there's a new algorithm coming. We want to get the word out. We love what we do. We want to tell people about it. There is some homeworkness about it, isn't there? There is some sort of workness about it.
Absolutely. And when you hear people say, and I'll say it from time to time, our LinkedIn profiles, our social footprint doesn't necessarily mean LinkedIn alone, just our social footprint. You can't just set it and forget it. You got to constantly tune it, tweak it, refine it so that you're constantly relevant. So it does feel like homework wherever you find yourself playing in this ecosystem, or whichever ecosystem you find yourself in. If it doesn't feel like homework, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, well, with that in mind, you talked about the social footprint. What does that mean to you? What is your social footprint? How many places do you put yourself?
So my social footprint, in addition to YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack, I have a small presence on Instagram. I did pull the plug or the efforts towards Facebook, TikTok, as well as X. Those headstones are up for those three platforms. In lieu of those, I'm now present in nextdoor.com. So it's very.
I love this, yeah.
Yeah. So Nextdoor keeps me grounded right here at home. It's a community-based platform. that brings neighbors, community members, local businesses together. That's where I'm trying to gain the momentum of my road trip so that I can help amplify and improve the visibility and hopefully the foot traffic for local businesses through this road trip where I can sit down and interview and have conversations with local business owners.
This is a very, very important discussion about the digital footprint. Where do you put your footprint? What I've decided, LinkedIn, Substack, YouTube. I stopped using X when it stopped being called X. I don't like Instagram. I use Facebook for friends, and I think that's about enough. I don't use Snapchat or TikTok, although they exist. And I'm really fascinated by how we do this. And this one that you've got that's very local, I really want to give you some kudos because we had Jill on the call. Did you did you manage to get a hold of her over?
I did connect with her. She accepted my connection request earlier today and is open to jumping on a call. So I'll schedule something with her.
Yeah. Now, this is a very important point because Jill, who lives in the Niagara area, she actually does really great reviews of retreats, forested areas where there's plenty of places to walk and fish and, get a massage and do yoga. And that's very, very cool. But she likes the written word. We are exploring the idea of the spoken word. In this case, the spoken word. And I think this is just a marriage made in heaven in a way. If you could team up with people that are already writing articles for these businesses, have you thought of this? Have you thought of doing a collab with people that are writing articles and you could voice the articles?
That is a great nugget of collaborating with writers. So I have gentlemen's agreements with publishers who have agreed to reach out and use my services and support and collaborate on book launches for that same purpose, to help spotlight the authors when they have a new publication coming out. But here lies another great opportunity. Doesn't necessarily need to be a writer or an author, but just take someone who writes for a living, like Jill, and collaborate.
Yeah, because I mean, and the synergy would have to be both ways. But here is a person who has an audience and she writes for that audience. And you have an audience, but you speak to that audience. You don't write for them. She doesn't speak to them. So you have a skill that she doesn't have, and she has a skill that you don't have. So, and more importantly, you have clients that each other doesn't have, even though you live quite close. So imagine if you could team up with someone who loves writing but doesn't particularly love to speak. And then you just do all the speaking parts for their clients. And you could team up with someone who loves to write and they could do the written parts. Now, this would also work with video people because some people who love video are just naturally gifted at that. And you might not, they're so busy that they probably don't have time to collaborate because it's such a big market. But imagine if you had someone that had like a list of clients that they do videos for, but they don't know anything about live streaming. Because in the content creation world, this is a very, very important point. There's a very strong division between people who create content and produce it, and for people that create content by being live. Now, the live component is arguably easier, but it's also harder in the sense that there's no redos. So it's quicker. I'm here and I'm gone and I'm done. But there's no overdubs. You can probably do some editing, but the point is that the point of that genre is that you're in and you're out and you're in the moment and it's very real. and people love real. Like it's a very much a trend. The power of the produced content, which takes longer, costs more, and arguably is not as popular, is that it looks great. It looks like an ad on TV. But guess what? People don't want to watch ads on TV. I mean, they don't. When you
That's
see an
right.
ad on TV, you go, there it is. Guess what? We saw an ad on TV. It's an ad. I get it. It's an ad for a car. And they went to this really funky mountain and they drove up the mountain and there's all these cars and it's a great ad. Probably cost them $100,000, but it's an ad and you get it. Yeah.
It is so well known that the very same companies that sell ads to businesses will charge you a fee to avoid ads. So you can buy, whether it's Spotify or Netflix, and now, all these streaming services, you can opt in for a fee to go ad free, even though these organizations are selling ad space and they're making ad revenue. They found a revenue stream from the end user. Hey, you can bypass all of this for a fee. So they know that nobody likes ads.
Yeah, well, the most amazing, this is an amazing idea. If I had said to you in 2005, there is a company that's going to create videos and it's going to become so popular that they're going to charge you $10 a month to stop watching the ads. And 1 million people will do that. I mean, you'd hit me. You'd say that's got to be bullshit. So YouTube Premium is $10 a month, and 1 million, I think it's actually 10 million. 10 million people pay YouTube $10 a month not to watch ads. Now, who would have? I mean, it's impossible to comprehend who thought of that. Like, that is just pure genius. That's genius beyond imagining. If someone had said, in 10 years' time, this company will be so popular that we'll actually charge people not to watch the ads. Right? And people are going, well, okay, that's ambitious. But they do. I think it's 10 million people pay YouTube not to watch the ads. We know people who love YouTube hate ads. $10 is not very much. This is the model of the world I like. $10 a month for something that's not very much, but lots of people love it. Yeah? Who would have thought? And as you said, there are whole companies making a good sort of strategy out of charging to avoid the ads, even though YouTube's primary 20 million now. 20 million people paid $10 a month to not watch the ads. That's $200 million a year to not watch ads. Man, we're in the wrong business. $20 million a month for people that don't want to watch ads.
Hey, here's the alternative. You can listen to Keith and I speak. We are ad free today.
Yeah. So, Spotify, 1 billion people pay $10 to not listen to the ads. So, a billion people, 2 billion people listen to Spotify. 1 billion pay $10, 1 billion don't. I think that's right. I think that's the number. It might be 100 million and they're making $1 billion a month. I think that's actually the case. So, they have 200 million users. 100 million say yes to ads and don't mind them, and it's free. Just in case people wonder why people have a free model. But 100 million people say, you know what, $10, unlimited songs all day, no ads, no brainer. That's $1 billion a month to not listen to ads. $1 billion a month to not listen to ads. What are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? We're in the wrong business. How do they do this? I mean, obviously they had a team of people and it took them 20 years, but can you believe it? They make $1 billion a month not playing ads. It's pure genius.
It is genius. And I'm surprised that so the streaming services have jumped on it. So Prime does it, YouTube does it, Spotify does it. I'm surprised that these platforms haven't dipped their toes in those waters. Hey, you can go ad free on LinkedIn or Instagram for $10 a month. And no more scrolling through ads. You're just scrolling through your connections.
What's your take on this? Is possibly dangerous territory, given that one of the shows is going to LinkedIn. What's your take on YouTube Premium? Is it worth the money? Do you get value? I've been having this chat with people from time to time. It's expensive. It's about $60 a month for Australians. And I'm not entirely sure it's worth it. What do you think?
On YouTube Premium, you said?
No, on LinkedIn.
Well, truth be told, I pay for premium. And don't know why I pay for premium. The initial purchasing decision was made when I was a job seeker, and thought I bought into the fact that visibility was supposed to increase by 40%, which is what they sell. You become visible to 40% more companies. You are presented with better open roles that align with your expertise. And then the caveat which had me sold was, hey, there's this entire learning library that you can lean into. So I've paid into it for about a year now. And I would say from the learning that I've leaned into, it's probably paid for itself. If I had to pay for it through a third-party platform, or I probably spend the same amount of money. So on that premise alone, it is worth it. The optics, though, the whole 40% increased visibility, no, I don't buy it. I didn't see it. Did not gain any more eyes from recruiters. It made zero difference.
Yeah.
It's
very important. It's very important to ask the question, because like there's a lot of sites and the money adds up if you're paying $60 here and $60 there. And I remember having a chat to someone who loves TV, and he said, mate, I pay $300 a month so that I can have access to any channel anytime. And I said, well, okay, good on you. $300. Yeah, well, if I get up at 3 a.m. and I want to watch the football in Madrid, I can. And I said, well, how often does that happen? Well, it's actually never happened, but I like the idea that I can. Okay. If you can afford $300 just to throw $300 down the drain in case you want to watch the soccer on a random night during the week, surely you could have some discernment about that. Well, don't tell me, Keith. I want $300 I want the choice. So I the reason I say that is because it's very easy for these numbers to add up. Restream's $30 a month for me, Australian, $30. I don't mind that because I love this show. I'm doing 2 a week. I love it. I've got so many cool features. I love that. That's a very good use of my money. But, $60 for premium, LinkedIn Premium here, $10 for YouTube Premium. You've got Spotify, you've got Netflix, you've got Amazon Prime, you've got BritBox. It adds up. You could easily be spending hundreds of dollars on things you're not using. How do you discern? What do you do? What do you do in regards to discerning how this all works?
So there's got to be some utility behind it. So, for instance, I make good use of my Restream service. I'll make decent use of my LinkedIn Premium. But everything else, I'm kind of teeter-totter on what am I going to get in return. And I know a lot of us, I know Zakia loves lifetime deals. So if you get an AppSumo deal on something that you believe has a place in your business or in your household, you jump on that. But one thing that it's very easy to fall victim to is the reluctance to pay close attention to what no longer serves you, because they'll keep taking that money because you're on an automatic renewal. So whether you're using it or not, you got to stay on top of what still fits, what still serves you, and know when to cut ties.
Yeah, we have a very strict policy on this. So we have one television channel we pay for, one service per sort of month. So we choose at the moment to use BritBox because we love it. There's a lot of British shows and they're all very funky and they're great, right? Now, if we decided that that didn't serve us and we weren't watching it anymore, we might go to Amazon Prime, which is a similar amount. Not exactly similar, but quite similar. And if that didn't serve us, we might go to Netflix. But to have BritBox and Netflix and Amazon just for the sake that we might watch it, well, that's, in a way, I think that's a bit silly.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
If you are watching it, then watch it. Good. If you're watching it, pay for it. But to have three just sitting there in case you want to watch it because you don't know what you're doing, I just think that's a little bit wasteful.
Yeah, and
back to the money, but it just adds up, doesn't it?
It does add up. And if we go back to utility, I chose Prime for that reason. So I'll get free delivery for my Amazon purchases in exchange for having Amazon Prime, get the channels. So that bundle serves me well, and it pays for itself year after year. Our smart televisions now, whether it's, I don't know if you have the Roku channels, or each smart television has an inventory of free broadcasting. Includes local channels, includes local news. So I don't need anything more than my Amazon Prime membership. My parents, similar to the example you shared, they have more channels. They don't have the full lineup, but they pay close to $200 combined television channels, which is a basic TV lineup of channels, some premium channels, and internet. Did we lose you? Is it that time of the day again? We may have lost Keith. So we are going solo, talking about streaming. We were talking about multi-streaming. And when Keith comes back, we'll continue the conversation. But in the meantime, if you haven't heard, Keith and I will be talking once again on Friday, Melbourne local time, and 7 p.m. Thursday evening local time here for myself. We're going to dive into a conversation about this new LinkedIn algorithm. Now, either Keith or myself are experts in LinkedIn algorithms, but there's this buzz going around, and a lot of creators are talking about 360 Brew, and I'm diving in, just doing some research and trying to comprehend and appreciate what benefits and what value the new algorithm will serve myself and the community that I serve from a live streaming perspective. It is important that we understand the new ecosystem and how it behaves and how it will reward us, as well as how it will penalize us. I'm learning some fascinating things. And prior to going live, I will be dropping an article on Thursday morning that will set the stage for this conversation. So anyone wanting to tune in, if we're going to be streaming across LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as Substack, and we're going to be talking about the 360 Brew. So look out for the article that will will come out in advance of the show. For those who want to tag along, you'll pretty much have a written summary of what we're going to discuss. Now, the one thing we're also very good at is deviating from our conversations. While the focus might be 360 Brew, the one thing I love about live streaming events is the fact that an audience member, or simply through conversation with others on stage, we branch off into different areas within our conversation. So stay tuned for that if you want to learn more or want to share more. If once again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not the expert in 360 Brew, so
it's very cool you're doing it though, because I hadn't even heard of it, and so you are right up there with the leaders. You've challenged yourself to learn it, and you're trying to understand it, and it's going to be a very, very, very interesting show. Very interesting.
Yeah, and I encourage anyone who knows more about it to join us on stage and share what you know thus far, because within the community we could reach a tremendous amount of members who can benefit from this new AI powered algorithm.
We've been talking about premium services, and I'm very inspired by Substack and how you can add on a membership site. Let's wrap up, because I know you're keen to go. What do you think you might add if you were going to add a membership tier to this product, to this format? What would people get for you? If you might not have thought of it, and that's okay, because I'm thinking of it as well. What do you think are some of the things people would pay extra for, or to have taken away? Like, I mean, if we had ads, we could take them away. But for me, I'm going to make sure the replays are available for members. $50 a year is going to be the number I'll set. $5 a month, $50 a year. I'll probably just make it a $50 fee. $50 for 12 months. Unlimited replays, knock yourself out. One fee, one time. But what do you think are the types of things that people do pay for in these premium content? Why do people pay extra for premium services?
So people will pay extra for accessibility to information, even though information is of abundance, free to search up. Sometimes people just gravitate to a source that they trust, right? And if we take a look at you, for instance, you are the social audio specialist. And yes, I can go on YouTube and listen to endless hours of content from other audio specialists, but you've built and earned trust. You've built and earned my trust in those who follow you, and people are more inclined to support you through a nominal fee, to know that they can reach out to you and say, hey, I'm having some difficulty. I'm listening to your replay. You talk about X, Y, and Z when it comes to the importance of audio. I'm hoping that through chat you might be able to answer this question, and it's through that same chat that you might be open, or someone might ask you, say, hey, do you provide one-on-one services? Because I really need to wrap this around my head, and
Can I pick your brain? Can I call you?
Can I pick your brain? Yeah. So
one of the great things about this is an extremely good hack. One of the things that's great about membership sites is that it's that introduction. The show, and to be very clear, the show is free. If you turn up live, it's free. If you can take the time to come when it's on, it'll always be free. That's the premise. That's the promise. But if you want the replay, I've chosen to put that behind a playlist on YouTube, which I'm going to make private for members, because I want people to commit to watching it. I just don't want them to say, look, I'll watch it later, because I won't. But I just want to tell you that I will make you feel better. I don't need you to make me feel better. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. So I want people to commit $50 a year to that process, $50. But if someone says, mate, I really need you to pick up, I want you to pick up the phone and call me, well, then the clock starts ticking because there's only one of me. And I could be doing 100 other things than calling people. There's 100 other things I'd rather do than call people. But I will do it because I know a bit and I'm happy to help. But people need to know that I'm not just sitting here waiting for the phone to ring. Ring, ring. Why don't you give me a call? Now that's a throwback. You know, I'm not just sitting here waiting for the phone to ring. Hey, I got nothing to do. I thought I'd talk to you. So that's when the funnel kicks in, and people then go, well, how much would it cost you to ring me? And I don't even know if I have a number yet. It'll probably depend on the day. And I'm not even sure I would do it because I'm busy. I love doing these shows and I'd rather be doing them. And I think that's, so I've got a really good funnel started now. You know, the shows are free and I love doing them. People can come if you want to watch the replay. They're available for members, a very small fee, $5 a month. And if you want me to ring you, well, then we can have a chat about how much it'll cost. I still haven't decided. Yesterday, were you part of that conversation when I was talking about Angus Young? Teaching the guitar solo from Thunderstruck? There's only one Angus Young. He's in Melbourne today doing a sound check for a gig tonight. Now, if someone said, mate, can you teach me the lead solo from, you know, You Shook Me All Night Long, he's got to find time to find you, go in a room, set up his guitar, teach you teaching is hard. He's got to have the patience to sit with you while he teaches you. Right? He's not going to do that for nothing because he could be doing a sound check. They used to live in Melbourne. He could be visiting friends. So I think this is a very, very good funnel. And I'm just so into this. We all know that there's millions of things you can go to look at on YouTube, millions of them. And why? This is a very important point. The reason I don't put my camera on and do shows with my camera on teaching you how to use equipment is there is already 1 million people doing that. If you Googled any piece of equipment you want to know about, there would be 1,000 videos about that piece of equipment with someone else who's already done it and who wants to do it. And I don't, right? So that's why I do this format. I don't want to put my camera on. I don't want to actually have to show you the mic I'm using and have a special lighting set up and buy a special camera because that all costs a lot of money. And there's already people doing it. So, but I got to be honest, I've never seen people doing this. I'm looking for people doing this sort of pixelated cartoon version of myself. I've never seen it. And maybe that makes me unique. And maybe there's no market for it. I don't know, but I've never seen it. And I'm just going to keep doing it because it's me. It's real. So with that in mind, I'm going to let you go, mate. I'm going to go and get some lunch. It is indeed lunchtime, but nobody came. People say they want to come at lunchtime. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. People say they'll come if it's at lunchtime. It's lunchtime. No one's here. No one's coming. It's just bullshit. So I want to leave you with a song that I think sums up what we're doing here. We live stream to YouTube and LinkedIn and Substack. Now, everyone's heard of YouTube. It's been around since 2005. 3 billion users. Everyone's heard of LinkedIn, 1.2 billion users. Substack is the new kid on the block. It's relatively new. But I think Substack is going mainstream. So I created a song using Suno about that lovely ballad in a minor key, really poignant. I think it really sums up what we're doing here. Live Substack is going mainstream.
Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. It started as a whisper, a spark in the feed. Creators find their voice and create at light speed. We are scaling up without selling out. Gentle souls finding an audience without having to shout. It's still very early in these golden days. The crowd's not too loud and the tech will amaze. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. Yeah, the challenge is the balance to stay true and free. Hold that creator's soul in the storming sea. 2025, the year we decide how far the wave goes, how wide the tide. Can we scale the mountain without losing the art? Every platform's heartbeat starts in the heart. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream.